Damaged, a virtual love story written by author W.Griffin. Chapter 3, Karen McNeil. I was 17 when I first laid eyes on Mitchell because he worked part-time in the high school that I attended. I remember me and my girlfriends would see him and get all worked up over how fine he was. I watched this man walk around the campus for a year, and I'm guessing he finally got up the nerve to say something to me, and I didn't hesitate to take him up on his offer. Mitchell asked me if he could take me out, and I remember it like it was yesterday because he was the first guy that my parents allowed to pick me up from the house. It was such a romantic night, and Mitchell didn't disappoint. We had dinner at one of the most elegant restaurants in Virginia Beach, and after dinner, he took me to the ocean front and we walked on the beach close to the water just enough to get our feet wet. Mitchell talked to me about his future and how he wanted me to be part of it. I was only 18 and had my whole life ahead of me, but it was something about him that made me question my decision on going away to college. I was accepted to Stanford University in California, and I made him aware of the possibility of me going away. Even though it was our first date, I felt so comfortable with him. After dating for a few months, I found out that I was pregnant and my dreams of going to Stanford was over and motherhood arrived. We named our first child Kevin after a close friend of mine who lost his life riding a dirt bike. We would all meet up at this local park on the weekends, and all the high school guys would bring their dirt bikes out and do all sorts of tricks on them, and Kevin was the best. It wasn't anything he wouldn't do for me, but I only saw him as a friend even though he tried to date me our entire high school career. My parents found out that I was pregnant. They instantly didn't like Mitchell, and they blamed him solely for ruining my life. I had to convince them that it was my fault just as well as his. They finally came around and accepted the fact that I wasn't going to abort my baby because I heard that suggestion over and over from both of them. Mitchell was hell-bent on me having the baby because he didn't want me to leave, and because I had fallen in love, I didn't want to leave either. Mitchell was 21 and I was 18 when we met, and after being together for a year, our first child was born, and he was such a cutie. He was a spitting image of his father, and I fell in love all over again. I knew that I had to do something to get my life together because the first time that I accepted Mitchell's offer to go out on a date, it seems as if time stood still, and now I had a baby. Mitchell had to quit school and work full-time at odd jobs to make sure he could afford diapers and formula. Although my parents were upset that I had a baby instead of going to one of the finest colleges in California, they decided to let Mitchell move in so he could be close to his child. My mother was kind enough to watch Kevin, and at the same time, I attended ODU in pursuit of my bachelor's degree in early childhood education because my dream was to become an elementary school teacher. I'm guessing that Mitchell was feeling overwhelmed because he started to drink heavily on the weekends, and it was a few times that he didn't even come home. He would frequent this local bar right after work on Fridays and hang out for hours instead of coming home to help me with our child. It was one particular night I decided to drive to the bar, and I was pulling up and I could see Mitchell standing on the patio talking to some woman. So I parked the car and got out, walked up to the bar and called his name. Mitchell! Oh shit. Oh shit is right. Who in the hell is this? Who in the hell are you? The woman responded. I'm his child's mother, that's who the hell I am. Mitchell, you need to get your little hoe in check. Who in the hell are you calling a hoe? Bitch, I'm calling you a hoe. Did I stutter? I don't know what came over me, but all I remember was the bouncers pulling me off of this woman.